Yep, I'm recording too.
Okay, guys, good afternoon. I think we have Malar here. I saw Malar Welly just now.
Yeah, hi Majid.
Hi, Malar, thank you for coming. If any of your customers, clients are coming, Malar?
I'm not so sure, but I've sent the link to them.
Okay. So let us start. Let me go to the share screen. Yeah. All right.
Hi, Puan Nabila. Welcome.
Okay. Hi.
Okay, can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So welcome everyone. Thank you for joining me. My name is Abdul Majid bin Muhammad Ghani. I know almost everyone here. So for those who yet to know me, my name is Abdul Majid bin Muhammad Ghani. I'm a licensed planner. I'm also a certified Islamic estate planner. And for those who know me, my name is still Abdul Majid. So today, okay, today we'll be looking into Islamic estate planning. Yeah. This is just a brief introduction. There's a lot of misconception about Islamic estate planning. And also, hopefully, at the end of this webinar, you can take away something, you know the difference between Faraid law and also the other estate planning tools, Islamic estate planning tools such as wasiat, hibah, wakaf, takaful. We basically will be looking into a few of them because you can actually do a PhD in Islamic estate planning. All right. So before we start, I hope you have 2 or 3 sheets of rough paper with you and a pencil, a pen. You can use your handphone as a calculator. We'll do simple Faraid calculation as we go along. Nothing to worry. We are not going to do any calculus. So if you are ready, you have your papers with you. Just type yes in the Y or yes in your chat box. Okay, Kenny is ready. Okay, everyone is good to go. So let us, all right. Let us go to the next slides. Okay. I've divided this talk into 7 subtopics. Yeah, we'll start with estate planning, the conventional one, so that you have an idea what is estate planning is all about. And then we go to the Islamic estate planning and Faraid, wasiat, hibah, harta persecarian, or matrimonial property lah, right? Or it's matrimonial assets, better term. And also we look at the Abu Bakar's plan. I thought it would be a good thing that, we sum all this up as an example. All right. So let us move on to estate planning. Okay, estate planning is actually a subset of financial planning, right? We have retirement planning, investment planning, wealth accumulation, right? Education planning. Estate planning is a subset of all this planning, right? And if you really think about it, estate planning is the one planning that will be useful. See, you can do retirement planning, you wouldn't know you'll retire or not, or you can do education planning, you can do wealth accumulation. Estate planning is the most important planning in financial planning because whether we like to admit or we don't like to admit, guys, we all have it coming for us, right? There'll be one day will be no more. Right, so estate planning is actually involves planning. It's about the preservation, management, and distribution of one's estate. Right, when one passes on, whatever is left behind, the assets, right, is called estate. And assets can be houses, land, stocks, horses, or even expensive handbags, right? And okay, estate planning is done for various reasons, and basically it's preserving family wealth, providing for a surviving spouse, children, grandchildren, or you can also leave a legacy to a charitable cause. So do we have any questions up to this point of time? Any questions, guys? You can unmute yourself or you can type in. No. Nabila, Puan Nabila, no. So you have no questions. We move on to estate planning tools, right? So there are tools that we can use for estate planning. The conventional one, the chief one or the most important one is will. And you can also have trust, and you can also have life insurance. So there are also other tools that you can use for estate planning, right? Will, trust, insurance, and all that, right? And all right, there are also other tools as well. And let us look into Islamic estate planning. Islamic estate planning is done for the same reason as the conventional one, right? And just like the conventional one, Islamic estate planning has two parts. One is the administrative part, and the other is the distribution part. The big difference between Islamic estate planning and the conventional estate planning is that Islamic estate planning follows the Sharia law, right? And in the Sharia law, the Faraid law is the backbone to Islamic estate planning, right? So before I move on any further, can anyone tell me what is Faraid law? Anyone? You can type in. Is everyone there?
Hi, Sue.
Hai
Okay.
Majid.
Yeah, hi. So,
Gula.
yeah, I'm halfway there. So, okay, Asnawi wrote distribution based on family relationship. Puan Nabila wrote according to what is stated in the Quran. Okay. Kenny wrote is a law of devolution according to the Sharia. Yes. Okay. Faraid law is actually is based on a relationship. Yes. It's based on ilmu nasab. It is basically it is basically about heritage. All right. So before we move on to Faraid, yes, let us look at the other tools that is in the toolbox of Islamic estate planning. Faraid is not a tool, in the toolbox of Islamic estate planning. Faraid is actually the key, right? So the other tools in Islamic estate planning, we have wasiat, we have hibah, we have harta pencarian. Harta pencarian is very exciting, especially if you are married, especially if you're a married lady. Okay, and we have wakaf and takaful. So these are a few tools that we have in the toolbox of Islamic estate planning. Today we'll touch only on three: wasiat, hibah, and harta pencarian. Okay, so these tools are actually supplementary to the Faraid, right? There's a lot of misconception about the Faraid law. And do you know that there are about 70 billion of assets, 70 billion of assets, Muslim assets, just frozen because of there is no proper distribution, right? Right. So harta pencarian interesting. Yes, Puan Farah, Cik Farah, harta pencarian is interesting. Later we'll see why it is interesting. Okay, the Faraid law, it is in the Quran. It is in ayat 11, ayat 12, and ayat 176 of Surah An-Nisa. Right. So if it's in the Quran, all Muslims know it is non-negotiable. Right. You cannot reinterpret this because it's very specific and it's very precise, right? These three ayats in Surah An-Nisa actually forms the backbone of Faraid law. Okay. All right. So let us look into Faraid distribution. Any questions up to now? Farah, any questions up to now? For Nabila? Anyone?
So far, so good.
So far,
No,
yeah.
no questions for now, but looking forward to the Harta Pencarian explanation.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. So we look into Faraid distribution. Okay, guys, the one that you see on your screen is a very simple family structure, right? You look here, there is a father and a mother, a husband and wife, a son, one son and one daughter. Okay. Of course, you know, most of the families are not as simple as that, right? So let us just focus into this, right? A husband, right? Just we assume, and as it always happens, the man always passes away first, lah. In the case of a man passes away in this structure, right? He has a father and a mother, and one wife, maybe one son and one daughter. Okay, if this man passes away, right? His wife is entitled to 1/8 of his estate. His father is entitled 1/6, and the mother is entitled 1/6. The ratio between the son and the daughter is 2:1, right? So, and if this person passes away without children, just say that he has no child at all, the wife will get 1/4, right? The mother will get around 1/3, and the rest of it goes to the father, right? So you can see, right? If you look at this, that the Faraid laws is a bit leaning on the male side. Okay, so let us look into. Okay, I hope, or in fact, I want you all to understand the distribution ratio between 2:1. Yeah, so let us look into a simple example here. Okay, so assume that this call our friend here Encik Ali lah, right? Hopefully there's no Ali here. So just call him Encik Ali. Say that he leaves 150,000 value in asset, right? So if he passes on, after deducting the 1/8 to the wife, 1/6 to the mother, and 1/6 to the father, just say you have 150,000 of value of asset left. So the ratio 2:1, this is how you look at it, you know. The son has 2 parts and the daughter has 1 part, right? So the son will get 2/3. So he's entitled to 100,000 and the daughter will get 1/3, right? She is entitled to 50,000. Let us look at another example. In this example, that just say Ali leaves 2 sons and 1 daughter. So each son will get 2 parts, right? So 2 parts for son number 1, 2 parts for son number 2, and 2 parts for 1 part for the daughter, right? So there are total of 5 parts. So the sons will get 120,000 and the daughter will get 30,000. This 120,000 is divided into 2, so each son will get 60,000, right? So the daughter will get 30,000. And let us look into the third part, right? A third example. Okay, in this example, the son gets 1 son and 2 daughters, right? So there are total of 4 parts. The son is entitled, if you do the maths, the son is entitled to 75,000. The daughter is entitled 75,000. The daughters, so each daughter is entitled 35,500, right? So this is how you do it. So the Faraid distribution, after you minus the 1/8 or 1/6 or 1/4 to the wife, 1/8 to the wife, 1/6 to the father, and 1/6 to the mother, do for the children. And the distribution between the daughter and the son is always 1:2, meaning the son gets 2 parts, the daughters will always get 1 part. All right.
This is non-negotiable, right? This is set, right?
Yes, this is set. This is in the Quran, so it's non-negotiable. It's only negotiable. It's non-negotiable, but there's ways around it. There's a ways around it, but the distribution stays. Okay, I have a question, right? You can type in or you can unmute yourself and say, so far of Faraid, what do you think Faraid is? Just like I said earlier, right? Estate planning, there's 2 parts. one is the admin part and one is the administrative part, right? So far, which part do you think Faraid is? You can type in.
Sorry.
Distribution?
Yes, Faraid is about distribution. This is where a lot of people make the mistake. See, Faraid is about distribution. A lot of misconception is that people start to think that it's about what they call administration, right? So that is a big misconception on that. So let us look at a simple example here. All right. You have your pens, your pencil, pens, and your phones ready with you. So we do simple calculation. Yes. We look at the sample Faraid calculation here. All right. So say that Ismail, I'm hoping there's no Ismail here also, died leaving a wife, a son, and a daughter. Okay. His estate is valued at 2.4 million. Yeah. 2.4 million, not 2.4 billion. That is a different case study. So let us calculate the Faraid distribution to the S lah. Hopefully the pronunciation comes correct lah. Right? It's a bit difficult to pronounce that word. Okay.
Ismail does Ismail has a father and mother?
No. In this example, Ismail only has one wife, one son, and one daughter.
Okay.
All right. So the moment Ismail has children, his wife is entitled only for 1/8, right? So the wife's part is taken care first. 1/8 of 2.4 million is 300,000, right? And then if you minus 300,000 from the balance, from 2.4, you get a balance of 2.1 million. This 2.1 million is distributed between the son and the daughter, all right? So coming back to the ratio again, between son and daughter, 2:1. Son 2 parts, daughter 1 part. So the son will get 2/3 out of the 2.1 million is about 1.4 million, right? The daughter is entitled 1/3 million, 1/3 over 2.1 million, that's about 700,000, right? So this is Faraid, yeah? This is Faraid. Now let us look at scenario number 2, right? This is Ismail leaving his parents. In this example, Ismail has parents, still one wife, one son is a bit more active, he has 2 daughters, right? So the estate is still valued at 2.4 million. So let us calculate the Faraid distribution here. Yeah? So how do we do this? Any idea? How do we do this? Do we do the children first or do we do the parents and wife first?
Parents and wife first.
Yes, that is
Parents and wife.
okay, thanks. We do the parents and wife first, right? So the first Faraid distribution is to the parents and wife. Parents 1/6 each, wife 1/8. So the common denominator is 24, right? This is a bit of maths, it's 24.
1/20.
Yes. So this is how you get 1/24, right? All right. So 24. So the father, if you make the denominator 24, you have the father 4/24. 4 of 24 from 2.4 million, the father will get 400,000. The mother will also get 400,000, yeah? The wife is 3/24. The wife is entitled to 300,000. Right?
Okay.
Right. The son 2 parts, and daughter each one part, right? So the son will get 650,000. Yeah, and the daughter will get 325,000. Right? You do this, whatever balance after taking care of the wife and the daughter, the wife and the parents, then you do the ratio part lah. So that is actually easier maths, right? So up to now you might be thinking, why does the Faraid tends to favor the man, right? So let us have a frank discussion here. Why do you think the Faraid law seems to favor the man? Don't worry, I'm not going to start.
No, I mean, I think the men have to take care of the women.
Exactly.
So the money is not actually theirs. It's more like macam pemegang amanah. I mean, I think.
Yeah, it's not pemegang amanah. It is actually, Islam requires the man to take care of the women. Of course, it doesn't happen all the time. That is why.
That's for sure.
Majid salah.
That is why.
Silap though.
That is why
I
we.
like it.
That is why we have Hiba Harta Pencarian as a supplement. So guys, I have a simple question here, right? I hope I'll give you 3 minutes. I want you to do this question, right? Ismail died leaving 2 wives. This is a more adventurous side of Ismail lah. 2 sons and 2 daughters, right? So I'll give you 3 minutes. I'll mute myself. Please go ahead and do this calculation and we see what are the answers we can get, right? I'll also stop the video for a while.
2 wives, 2 sons.
No copying.
Just wanted to ask Kak Su to send me a private message, the answers. Majid said no copying. Kak Su, cannot lah.
We write the answer in the chat.
No, we can. You can do it on the chat, but maybe after 3 minutes you can unmute and we can tell out the answers. Is that okay?
Okay.
Yeah. So are we ready? Is everyone done? Kenny? Kenny is good. Pakia? Pakia, you can type. Pakia, I can't see you. Pakia, are you okay with maths? So, done? So that,
Oh wait,
I have
ada
done. I have done, but I don't know whether correct or not lah.
discuss lah, discuss.
okay. Right. So, okay, Puan Nabila, maybe we can go to your answers.
Okay. Right. Okay. For me, okay, I think that the wife get 1/8. Okay. So here I got to divide into the two. So each 150K. The son, the 2 sons, each one 700K. The daughter 350K each. Correct?
Okay. Okay. All right. So let me go through this. Yeah. I hope you have tried because especially if you have kids and it is very good for you. Let us go through this together.
Isn't the wife supposed to get 1/6?
The wife, if the moment there's a kids, she'll get 1/8. In this case, the wives will get 1/8. If it's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, yeah, all of them is entitled only to 1/8. It's not each of them 1/8. All of them 1/8 only.
So 1/8. So they got to divide. So it's each 150K.
Correct. So yeah. So Puan Nabila, let us go through together.
Okay. So I can work with you now.
Yeah. So. Okay, first the Faraid distribution to the wives. All right, wives, with an S there. 1/8. So the common smallest denominator here is 8, right? since there are no parents, so it's only 8. So total for both wife is 300,000. So Puan Nabila, all right, you got it right. So each of them 150,000. Right? This is the answer you got right, Puan Nabila?
Correct.
All
Yes.
right. And then now we go to the children. Son A, the first son 2 parts. The second son 2 parts. The
Yes.
daughter 1 part. So there's total of, and daughter B is 1 part. So 6 parts.
6 parts.
Yeah. So son A, 2 out of 6 out of 2.1 million, he's entitled to 700,000. Son B
Yes.
also same, 700,000. The daughter is 1 out of 6 of 2.1 million, that's 350,000. And daughter B, 1 out of 6 out of 2.1 million is also 350,000. Yeah. So siapa dapat semua betul?
Betul.
Okay,
betul.
All right.
Betul.
All right. Okay. Anyone else got this or different answer?
Dapat.
But so now you understand why the harta persecarian. As we go along, you see the usefulness of harta persecarian. Okay. All right. Let us move on. See, the thing is, when one passes away, right? The assets are frozen, right? The assets are frozen. So the bank account, the land, unit trust, whatever asset under the dead person name is completely frozen. And since we cannot raise the debt, right? That is what the next tool, the wasiat, becomes a very useful document in the estate planning. Okay, so let us look into the next one. All right, wasiat. Wasiat is written according to the Sharia law. So, anyone have written a wasiat before in this group?
No.
No. All right. See, wasiat is actually a will. It's a will. It's a. Can you guys hear me? Right?
Yes.
All right. So it's a will settlement document.
Oh, never.
Never written a wasiat.
I've never had that experience.
Okay. All right. So wasiat is actually a will, right? It's a Muslim will. It's a settlement document of instruction, right? And you'll be surprised. Do you think wasiat is applicable to non-Muslims?
Yes.
It's applicable, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, wasiat is applicable to non-Muslims as well. If any of your family member is married to a Muslim and he or she wills wills that to leave you something behind, they can through the wasiat, right? So let us look the benefits of writing wasiat, right? The first one is in your wasiat, you can leave 1/3 to non-Faraid ayahs. This is especially important, right? If you have anak angkat, right? If you have anak angkat and you love the child very much, the Faraid distribution does not recognize anak angkat, right? In the Faraid distribution, there is no anak angkat distribution. So this is where in your wasiat you can bequeath 1/3 of your assets or 1/3 of your properties or your assets to the anak angkat, right? So this can be done. In fact, the Faraid laws requires the wasiat to be taken care first, right? So only after the wasiat is taken care, then is the distribution of the Faraid, right? The second most important thing is harta sepencarian, right? Harta persecarian applies to both male and female. Right? If you remember, there was a very famous case, an artist, not that many years ago, right? He actually sought harta persecarian from his wife. Can anyone name me the person? A very famous Malaysian artist. He actually went to court and tried to get the harta persecarian from the wife. Anyone? If you remember Nash,
Oh, I thought you meant non-Muslim.
No. Harta Pustaran, I'm not sure whether for the matrimonial property is applicable to non-Muslim. For Harta Pustaran is actually recognized by the Sharia, right? It is applicable both, meaning the wife can claim from the husband and the husband can claim from the wife, right?
You mean husband can claim harta sepencarian from the wife?
Yes, Farah. If you remember the case, then many years ago, Nash, the
I remember that.
Yeah.
But then I thought that was through court, meaning that in the Quran, does it allow a husband to take money from the wife? I thought tak boleh kan?
the Quran doesn't. The Quran
Apalah laki-laki ni.
The Quran doesn't specifically say that you can take money, but if you look at Surah Al-Baqarah and Surah Ali Imran, I think Surah Al-Baqarah is around 176. Yeah, it is stated that the male has the portion and the female has the portion. But later, Farah will go into harta sepencarian. You'll get a better idea, right? There's a subtopic as harta sepencarian. Then you'll see.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. The third one, wasi. This is the most important thing in your wasiat, right? This is the part that you take care of the administration part, right? You see, wasi, the task of a wasi is upon the guy, the pewaris dead, or the testator's dead, the wasi is the one that will read the will. He is the one who will read the wasiat. He is the one with the power to go and get probate from High Court, right? This is the very important. In fact, the whole of wasiat, you look at the word wasi, is actually comes from the wasiat comes from the word wasino. So this is the most single important thing that you can appoint. If you do not appoint a wasiat, you have a lots of problems. The slide after this will look into the problems. Then another important part is the guardian, right? You can actually name the guardian of your child, of your underage child in your wasiat, right? Because if he goes to court, if you don't have a wasiat, the court looks at the law. He will look actually in terms of money, but you might have different ideas, right? So you might not want this person to be a guardian. You might want somebody else to be a guardian. So that is very important that it is stated in the wasiat. And then fast distribution. So let us look into the wasi and the fast distribution part on the next slide. You see, if a person passes on without a wasiat, you look on the left side of the screen, right? The assets are frozen, right? The assets are frozen, and then you have to go and get application from letters of administration and Sijil Faraid. So if you do not have a wasi, if you do not have an executioner, you have to go and get letters of administration. And this is a very long process because all the beneficiaries have to agree, right? Have to agree. And as you know, when money is involved, even some of the beneficiaries would want to become the administrator as well. So these are the problems that you face. Or you will not, the testator will face, the family will face. Then an administrator is appointed. Then after that, only you can apply for dispensation of sureties or application for appointing two sureties. And then you get letters of administration granted. Then only the assets can be liquidated. If there is a wasiat, right, the assets, the frozen assets, right, you can go to this wasi can goes to High Court and get a probate, and the assets can be liquidated very fast. The difference between the left side of the screen and the right side of the screen, it can be a few years, It can be a few years, right? If you have a wasi, it usually the one delays is bureaucracy, It's just the bureaucracy and the paperwork. But if you do not have a wasi, if you do not have a wasiat and the wasi is not appointed, those intestacy or partial intestacy will take a long time, sometimes even 2 or 3 generations, right? So this is why wasiat is very, very important. All right. So let us look at the next tool that you can use, hibah. Hibah refers to a transfer of ownership of an asset from a donor, wahib, to a mahub lahu without any consideration, right? So hibah is given without expecting anything in return, right? Hibah is given without expecting anything in return, and it is only given during a person's lifetime. Hibah cannot be given after the person is dead. It is given during a person's lifetime. There must be a giver, a receiver, and akad lah, right? Ijab kabul. So these three things must be present, right? Hibah cannot be given if, example, the car or the house is still under mortgage. It must belong to the giver, not to the bank or to anybody else. It must belong to the giver 100%. Only then hibah can be given. Okay? Any questions, guys, up to now?
Wasiat, can we write our own wasiat and then have a witness?
You
Or
will
do
have-
we have to have...
You will have to have two witnesses, but if you ask, my advice is better that you go to the professional wasiat writers, one, right? Yeah, you need two witness. All right.
Yeah, but they charge a lot.
Not exactly a lot, but of course that is subjective lah. How much is a lot?
Yeah, no, I mean, you know, if you have assets like 2 million or 3 million, then they charge a portion like berapa percent, right?
No, it's actually not percent, Farah. Maybe after at the end we can talk about this, Farah, because
Can, no problem, can.
Yeah, all right. So any question?
Can I ask Majid one question?
Yeah.
For the hibah, should be in written document or just verbal document? Just verbally you can execute the hibah.
Hibah, there are 4 rukun lah hibah. Pemberi, penerima, ijab dan kabul. So you can actually, if you're Dr. Ahmad, if you're giving the hibah when alive, it can actually be ijab and kabul. So it doesn't have to be a written document. No need.
All right. So if anyone challenge that, how is it?
If anyone, you see, when the person is given alive, just say, example, we go back to Ali. If Ali is given to hibah to his daughters, so he wants to be fair to the children, he gives a house to the daughter. He has to declare in front of everybody that he is giving.
Right.
Yes, but there's also what you can also do pre-hibah, but that is a different story lah. That will need documents.
All right.
So
Okay.
that means, okay, Majid, so that means, let's say I have a house, I want to give to my daughter.
Yep.
I don't have to change to her name. The house to her name.
Yes, no. If you take pre-hibah, if you go by pre-hibah, you don't have to change to her name. What you can do, there is like you appoint a trustee. So you are still the legal owner. Your daughter is the beneficiary. The only condition here is that during the lifetime of the giver, the person, the one who's getting the hibah must be able to enjoy it. So in this case, your daughter must stay in the house now.
Okay.
Right? And for the pre-hibah thing, you have to have a document and also power of attorney lah.
Okay.
Right?
One more question, Majid. One more question.
Yeah, go ahead.
For hibah, for example, if for life takaful, how is it? Can you also give like hibah? You have a life takaful and certain amount of money that you want to give hibah to certain people. Is it possible?
No, takaful no, because takaful only life takaful only becomes active when the person is not alive. Hibah is given when the person is alive.
Okay, all right, understand. Thank you.
All right. So we go to the
Excuse me, Majid. Farah have another 2 more questions over the chat room here, but
okay.
So maybe you can help.
Farah, okay. If you
so
just
the first question was, so in the wasiat we must specify who the wasi is.
Yes. In the wasiat, it must be specified full name, possible IC number, who the wasi is. Yes.
The second question was, if we just voice it in front of witnesses, is that enough?
No, it's not. That's not enough. Wasiat must be in document. It must be documented. It must be in written form.
Thank you.
All right. So Farah, we move to the next one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Harta persecarian. Yeah, maybe you're interested in this.
Oh, definitely.
All right. Harta persecarian is basically defined as assets jointly acquired by husband and wife during the valid substance of the valid marriage, right? So harta perceraian is valid during the marriage, right? Boyfriend, girlfriend cannot lah, right? So harta perceraian, the good thing about harta perceraian, unlike hibah, right? If the house is still under mortgage, it can be declared. It can be declared at the harta pencarian. You can also declare unit trust and also stocks and bonds as harta pencarian, right? And harta pencarian, the beauty of harta pencarian is it takes place before the faraid. It takes before the faraid, right? And unlike hibah, which only you can give during certain items, right? You can't give EPF hibah, you know. You can't give EPF hibah. You can't give takaful hibah, right?
Oh, wow.
You cannot. But hibah has no limit, meaning that if you have cash, there's no limit to it. But there are certain assets you can't give hibah. Harta pencarian is not specifically written in the Quran, but Islam is a religion that recognizes culture, right? Harta pencarian is actually a Malay adat and is recognized by the Sharia. There is the ayat appears in the Ali Imran. I cannot remember the ayat. The Surah Ali Imran and also Surah Al-Baqarah as well as Surah Al-Ma'idah, right? Later, I leave my handphone number. If you are interested in knowing more, I can text you the ayat lah, right? Right. So, harta pencarian, right? It is actually a Malay adat, but recognized by the Sharia, right? So, all right. Let us look at Abu Bakar. Yeah, Abu Bakar. This is not Abu Bakar radhiyallahu anhu. This is a different Abu Bakar. Okay. So let us look at an example of how Abu Bakar uses these tools to be fair to his children. All right. So before we move on to Abu Bakar's plan, any questions to the three tools that we have: wasiat, hibah, and harta pencarian? Any questions? Okay. Just before that,
Majid.
yeah.
Sorry. For Nabila, can go on.
Go ahead. Never mind. What is it?
Okay. So the order is wasiat, harta pencarian, then hibah, right?
No, that is the order of my presentation today.
Okay, no. Okay, following the Islamic way is faraid, wasiat, harta pencarian, then only hibah, betul tak?
No, so you can write hibah, you can do hibah separately, you can do harta pencarian separately, right? Wasiat is a document. If you remember earlier, it's very important to appoint the wasi and the guardian lah, right? Hibah can be a different document. Harta pencarian can be a different document, right?
I see. Okay.
It can be you can do it together. This wasiat, hibah, and harta pencarian supplements the faraid distribution, right?
Faham. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, the next example, the example we have here is quite good. It will actually summarize the whole thing. Okay, one important thing, about harta pencarian, right? It is claimed under three conditions: the death of the spouse, divorce, polygamy, lah, right? So it's I mean, if that, and then of course you and then divorce and also polygamy. So I always tell this to my sisters, lah, right? If the husbands have different ideas, want to marry something, rather than lepaskan saya and all these things, go and do the harta pencarian first, right? That is a more smart thing to do, lah, right? So and harta pencarian you can actually declare, you can actually declare during the lifetime, right?
One question, Majid, about the wasi and the administrator, though. What is the difference?
Wasi is the administrator.
Okay.
Yes. So if you do not write a wasiat, there'll be a problem of appointing the administrator, and that's why a lot of things get hold up, because when the money is involved, everybody is interested. This person also wants to be the administrator. That person also wants to be the administrator, and so it is very important. This administrator is appointed earlier by the person who's leaving the estate behind.
Okay, all right. So it could be the third party, mean the authorized administrator.
Yes, the best thing for wasi is actually a corporate administrator like Amanah Raya and of all these people. You know why? Because a wasi has a lot of job to do. He has to know a bit of law. He has to run here and there. If the wasi is a person who's working, who has a business to run, then he might not have the time. So it's always, if you ask me, it's always better to appoint a corporate wasi lah, Doctor.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Right. Let us look at Abu Bakar. Yeah. Right. So Abu Bakar died and left behind a house in Ipoh, 1.2 million. A house in Kajang, 2 million. Right. Maybe it's undervalued now. House in Penang, 2 million. Cash and shares in various companies amounting to 15 million. A Mercedes-Benz, 250,000. And a unit trust investment worth 3 million. So Abu Bakar left an estate in terms of value is 23,450,000, right? So let's say Abu Bakar, right, did not write any wasiat, no hibah, no harta sepencarian. Can you guys calculate again how much the wife will get, the son will get, and the daughter will get? I'll give you about 3 minutes. Is it okay? Use the same distribution, yeah. The son ratio 2:1. The wife is 1/8. 1/8. Abu Bakar has no parents lah, right? So using that law, I give you 3 minutes. Please work it out, and then we can go through together. Okay? Is that okay?
Can we see the slide again?
Yeah. Okay. I'll go to the slides again. All right.
The house can be, that means the house can be sold and then divided the money. Or how?
It can be sold and divided the money. Yes, we assume that the house is sold, but in this example, we just say that they're not selling the house lah. It's not selling the house. Nothing is sold. Is distributed by Faraid. Oh, sorry. For this, without the wasiat is sold. Yes, one. You're right. It is sold and the money is distributed. So in terms of value, without the wasiat, we can calculate how much is it. So this is the slide just now.
Well, just now the million cannot see how many million forgotten.
Oh, okay. Let me.
His wealth. Yeah, his house. Yeah. Someone must go and check.
Multi-millionaire. Come on.
Yeah.
Must check him out.
So much lah. Cannot remember the money.
I tell you, this one teruk lah.
Ini lebih pada 2.6 bilion ni.
Gila lah.
$23 billion.
Majid, yang ini untuk berapa orang isteri? 2 ke 3, 4?
Abu Bakar is a good man. Seorang. Only one wife. One wife.
Oh, one, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Saya silap kira.
Yeah.
One unregistered.
One wife.
Yang tu wife yang registered.
Yeah. Okay.
Unregistered banyak.
Oh.
Maybe Abu Bakar loves his wife, or maybe he don't want to repeat his mistake lah.
Okay.
Majid cerita. Ya je.
Majid nak support yang lelaki je.
Betul Farah.
Majid, I think the
Majid
second
ni
reason
pro
is accurate.
lelaki.
Second reason is the accurate one, Majid.
Kalkulator pun tak nak keluar, tahu tak? Tengok harta ni.
Kalkulator takut.
Aduh. I dengar bunyi kalkulator.
Ya.
Pakai giant calculator lah.
Anak dia seorang je.
Yes, a son and a daughter. Two daughters. One son and two daughters. Yeah.
and
One
two
son,
daughters.
two daughters.
Yeah, one son, two daughters.
Two daughters.
One wife lah.
Aduh, calculator dah jam. Banyak menor ha.
Can should be quite simple lah this one. Okay, ada dekat seminit lagi. Pakia can Pakia.
I'm trying.
Malar, are we good, Malar?
Yeah, good, good. I'm trying also.
Okay, Malar. Hi, Rosmaliza. Nice to see you here.
Hello, I'm listening. I joined in late, so I tak boleh nak catch up. So I tengok contoh
Okay, alright.
Alright.
Majid punya contoh Ros, semua orang kaya ni. Milioner ni.
Itulah menakutkan je.
Itulah, ya Allah. Nak kira pun calculator tak bergerak.
Patut isteri semua satu je.
Tu kan. Registered.
Tak realistik lah deh.
So, Puan Nabila, dapat answer Puan Nabila?
Okay, tak ada calculator guna ini.
Can you use your handphone?
My handphone, I'm watching from my handphone. You know?
Okay, let us go together, yeah? Yeah, okay? Yeah, let us go. All right. Okay, so if there is no wasiat, right, and Abu Bakar did not declare a hibah or harta pencarian, so look at how it goes, right? The wife is entitled to about 2.931 million, right?
Yes, betul.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dapat betul.
Yeah, the son is entitled to more than 10 million, right? 259. Yep.
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay.
And the first daughter about 5 million, 5.129. And the second daughter also sama lah, 5.129.
Yeah, sama.
Right?
Betul.
So, right, this is without wasiat, hibah and harta pencarian are not declared, right? The hibah is not declared and harta pencarian not declared. So let us see if Abu Bakar, what Abu Bakar does with these tools, right? So Abu Bakar has declared this harta pencarian. He loves his wife, right? So he's giving her the house in Ipoh, 1.2 million, right? And he gives us the Mercedes Benz, 250,000. This must be given before the Faraid distribution is taken into account. Harta pencarian must be given out, right? So this is where harta pencarian is a good tool, right? It is given out before the Faraid distribution. Okay, and he also have given a unit trust investment of 3 million, right? So Abu Bakar is a Beatles fan lah. He believes money can't buy love, but he still gives the wife money lah, right? So
touching, Majid.
Harta pencarian, Abu Bakar has declared to the wife 4,450,000, right? So this must be given to the wives first before anything else, right? This is where pencarian is good. It's a good tool, especially for ladies lah. And if you have a husband like Abu Bakar. All right. So, okay, Abu Bakar gives hibah to the first daughter, right? He gives her the house in Kajang, worth 2 million, right? So, total of 2 million. So, this is Abu Bakar's hibah to the first daughter. And he does the same to another daughter, right? Actually, supposed to be the typo there. His house in Penang, another 2 million, right? All right. Abu Bakar also wants to do some charity, lah, right? Okay, guys, if you remember earlier, right? How much can Abu Bakar actually give to charity from his 15 million? How much? He has 15 million, right? In cash.
30%?
Yes, he can give 1/3. He can give 1/3. It is actually allowed, yeah. You can give 1/3. So
5 million.
correct, 5 million. Yes.
5 million.
Yes, correct. So 5 million to various charity, including to orphanages, to anything that he wants. He is entitled to that. He is not against Faraid, right? So he gives 5 million to charity, right? So Abu Bakar, after minusing all that, right, now comes the Faraid distribution. So this is how the 10 million is distributed to Faraid. So let us see how he distributed. 1 per 8 to the wife, right? So the wife's get 1 million, 1.25 million lah, right? So okay, wife is taken care, yeah? So you have balance. So the 10 million minus this, you get 8.75 million, right? Okay, then you do the maths. Son 2 parts, daughter A 1 part, daughter B 1 part, right? Son 2 parts, so he is entitled to 4.375 million. The daughter A is entitled to 2.187 million and 2.18 million. So we see, right? Let us see the total, right? Now the final distribution, the wife, he is entitled to 5.7 million. The plus the Faraid distribution. The son is entitled to 4.3. The daughter, hibah plus Faraid 4.1. Same with daughter B. So let us see the comparison here, right? Yeah. So you can see
the wife dapat banyak jugalah.
Yes. So you can actually use all this as a supplement to Faraid, right? So let us see. Without with wasiat and harta pencarian, right? Compare this, right? The wife is entitled this. The son is 4. Son is 10. Daughter. So there you have it now. Right? There you have it.
Wow, that's a lot.
So you can actually use harta pencarian tool and the hibah tool to actually make it more fair. Of course, the sunnah of the blessed prophet is that, you know, even though hibah got no limits, right? Even though harta pencarian also have no limits, but the sunnah of the prophet is that to be fair to the son as well as the daughters and the wife as well, and the wives, right? So this hadith is reported by Ibnu Umar, narrated by At-Tabrani. It's a sanad Hasan. English interpretation is those who are the most aware of that, right? When he was asked to the blessed prophet, who is the smartest one? So this was his answer, right? Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, he answered that those who are most aware of that and prepare themselves for it, they are the wisest of the people and will have honor in this world and a generous reward in the year after, right? So you can interpret this hadith in many ways, right? You can interpret this hadith in a way that, you know, you do amal ibadah for the afterlife, but this hadith has a deeper meaning. You can actually plan your estate as well, right? Because the word said those who are most aware of that and prepare themselves for it. So this is a hadith by At-Tabrani lah. So guys, with that, we end our session, and thank you very much. This is my phone number. If you have any questions, you can WhatsApp me, and we can, you know, if you have any question or if you want any advice, I am willing to spend an hour with you without charge. Without charge, because to show my my thanks to you, right? To show my appreciation to you on all this, and we can discuss later. So, any questions before we end this session?
Yeah, I think I just want to put a moral to the story. I think all men, let's go out there and get your harta. Get ready for the for giving it back to the wives.
Yeah.
One more question, Majid.
Yeah.
Roughly, you know how much is the cost for those wasi administrator? What is the average of thing?
Dr. Ahmad, that is actually depends on the clause that the clauses that you have. You see, in Malaysia, you have three providers, right? You have three providers. Actually, basically, we have two. Talk about Has Salin and Wasia Shop, right? So it depends on. It actually depends on your amount of as Farah said, the amount of your asset. But there are many iterations to this. You know, there are many iterations to this. If you're interested, you can text me lah. We can have a Zoom session. FOC, no obligation. We can remain. If you're not interested, we can always remain friends because there are a lot of iterations to this. Hiba, you also have wakaf, takaful, and all this.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I will contact you, inshallah.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Majid. I am so blurred with all this. Dr. Rose, no problem. You can text me. We can talk about this. So, ladies, you can use harta pencarian lah, right?
Yeah, but no harta cannot also kan. Thank you, Majid. Awesome sharing. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So let me stop the sharing. Okay, I think so that's it. We can end the session now. Thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you very much, Majid.
Akia, Dr. Ahmad, Dr. Rose, Nabila, Puan Nabila,
thank you.
Sharifah, Julina,
Malar.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
All right. If you have any question, text me.
Okay.
All right. So I can stop recording now, Jason.